G'day YouTube, ThunderDiesel here, and welcome back to BeamNG.Drive. This will be my second video for today. Not too often I upload two videos in one day, but it is currently going on 1:30 AM here in Australia, and I can't sleep, so I figured, well, let's do another video. Now, some of you that may be in my Discord, or other Discords that I am in, would have seen I made this little compound here on the OGC map, which is multiple maps combined into one. So I built this little compound area with the garage and some spaces for vehicles, and I, well, never did anything with it. So today I'm thinking of maybe dismantling this, or I could leave it. But primarily today, I want to go over to the West Coast USA area where the drag strip is, and I want to build something somewhat similar to this over there so I can do some videos over there with it. So, a lot of y'all know I try to do some roleplay-ish type videos, hence why I have been doing a lot of map editing certain things and areas to kind of make it a little more realistic. So I haven't got a lot of space to work with over here, like the ground's not exactly flat or anything over here. And my map editing skills have not vasted into the, well, ground flattening aspect of it. So we may have to work with what areas we have and edit something into something usable. Like over here, for instance, we can maybe get rid of some buildings and fences and turn this into some sort of area we could use, but primarily I kind of want it to be, I want the drag strip to be easily accessed, because if I build over here, well then I have to, well, I suppose I can drive down here and around to the drag strip, but I primarily want to use the main entrance of the drag strip. So sad, I could build something here if I knew how to, let's just bring up the map editor here. Delete these trees and things like that, but because it's like part of this landscape, I'm not 100% sure how this works. I think I need a separate program for that. I can't primarily do it within the BeamNG map editor. See, like, I have no idea. Okay, well, I can add trees. I just don't know how to delete said trees that I have just added. Unless I sit here and delete every single tree on the map. But that obviously probably won't end up looking very realistic if I was to sit here and just delete everything. But this tree is now not going away after I have placed it, unless that's it. Nope. So now that I've placed that tree, it's not going away. And I can't click on it to do anything. So, yeah, let's just go undo, undo, undo. Continue to click undo until that tree disappears, which I'm hoping it does, which it doesn't seem to want to be. So let's just go OGC map. Hold on a second. See, I haven't really done much with the editor apart from add buildings here and there. So yeah, now that tree being there is going to annoy me because every time I drive past it, well, I'm gonna think, oh, I added that tree there like a numbskull, but I guess it'll just have to do. It's like I could come over here to this car park. It's already got a workshop area over here that I could remove buildings and move stuff around and make it my own. But I kind of want to build something that's unique to my tastes. I mean, that's good and all. I can definitely work with that. It's just things like these yellow poles. I can't click on them to remove them. That's the only thing that's going to annoy me. Because it's part of the landscape, and now I'm getting messages on Discord. But yeah, for instance, these buildings, I can move them around and whatnot, or just get rid of it completely, so it opens the area up more. And like this building is just completely useless because it's got a half open door and well, you can't drive anything into it, so that's just more or less useless to me, so that can go bye-bye. Right. So I think I am just going to go ahead and use this area. Um, like I said, when it comes to like road decals and everything like that, wouldn't even have a clue where to begin. I'm just good at copying, pasting, and cloning buildings into areas and things like that. And now that I'm looking at this, kind of having second thoughts because I want to use that garage that you saw over in the other area, but it's got like two entrances. So the only way that would really work is if I can't even. I can remove that fence, but I don't particularly want to remove the entire fence. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, I wanted to just remove the gate, but that's not going to work in my favor. Because I'm pretty sure I would have to open it somewhere else. See, we'll locate in the asset browser. Again, I have no idea what I'm doing. That's going to take way too long. There's 9,000 assets it has to find. See, I wanted to just remove the gate, but it's going to want me to remove the entire fence, which I don't particularly want to do. So that area may be out of the question. See, I could always just simply remove these few tents. Wait, no, I can't. Of course not, because it's part. See, that's what's going to annoy me is certain assets I can't click on and remove. It's like the entire thing. That's the one thing that's going to annoy me greatly when trying to do certain things. I can't remove them. So yeah, that's not going to really work in my favor. I could still build something like over here and have it fenced off, so I can have an area, closed in area for all my cars and workshop and things like that. That could very well work. I just have to it's like I could just simply use this fencing here. But of course it's not going to let me click on that fencing. Let's see if I came over to this wire fence or not. Okay, that's so I'm assuming the creator of this has pretty much just taken the entire section out of West Coast. Because I can come over here, click on stuff like this, and it'll move. So I'm going to test something here real quick. Instead of using OGC map, let's load up West Coast. And we shall see if I can select any of these other assets. Now, if you've made it this far into the video, this is probably going to... BeamNG has exited unexpectedly. Lovely. Okay, well, something's broken with West Coast. Well, let's reload it and see if I can get it to load. But yeah, this video is going to be well over an hour or more, so if you're watching this and you have anything else to do throughout the next hour or two, maybe 3, I'm not sure how long this video is going to go for. So we'll try this again, loading up West Coast. And now, of course, BeamNG's not sure. There we go. Right. Now we'll try this again. Now that we've fully reloaded the game, hopefully it loads and it doesn't crash. Because I've had a few different people ask me over on Discord, how do you edit maps and things like that, and a lot of the time it takes a fair few hours for me to select a spot that I want to edit and then figure out how I'm going to edit it, but what I want to put there and how I'm going to place it and things like that. Like, a lot of people take the map editor for granted and they don't realize the sort of things you actually can do with it. So now that we're here on West Coast USA, our FPS is looking a little better. I'm getting upwards of 100 FPS now. So we'll load up the map editor and we'll see if I can select these tents or not. No. These are part of the world. Lovely. So come over to these fences. No, part of the world. Well, that's annoying. There's certain things that I can't use to my advantage, and certain things that I can't delete without deleting a whole bunch of other stuff that kind of makes the whole thing work properly. So, yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I may just have to stick with the whole building something over here and deal with the fact that there will be painted lines on the ground that I can't really remove, which really shouldn't be an issue. I mean, I could use these section of tents and box off a bigger area, but I don't necessarily want those tents in this area, so so wait, they're not called containers, or they called, hold on, search PP. Why are they not called containers or shipping containers? Hold on, I'm gonna have to go and find a shipping container now and click on it. That's if there is any shipping containers. Docks. We should have shipping containers over here, maybe. How are there no shipping containers on this map? I've never noticed that. So this is all part of the process. Looking for certain assets, selecting the place you want to build in. Ding! I really thought there were shipping containers on this map. I mean, I know there was in the OGC map just because it was a couple of maps put into one, but I really thought there were shipping containers on this map by default, but I'm guessing I'm wrong, so we may have to go back to the OGC map for the assets that I want to use. Because I go to search for them, like container, not there. Shipping, not there. So, now I'm at a bit of an impasse now. There's no shipping containers over here anywhere. Well, that's very unfortunate. I really thought there were shipping containers on this map, or at least a few. Like, I'm very surprised there are no shipping containers over here. First of all, while I'm editing, I'm just going to remove my shifter. Take my coffee off of there for a second so I can move some of this stuff around. So I can move my keyboard over here like this, because it is hurting my arm having to reach. Right, put the coffee back there. That's much better. So yeah, well, looks like I'm going to have to go back to the OGC map. Bugger. Oh, it doesn't really matter. Right, so let's go back to the main menu, free roam. So yeah, I know this video is going to be more of a boring type video, but like I said, people were asking how and what I do to edit the maps and everything that goes into editing the map. Like, as you've seen so far in the last 19 to 20 minutes or so, picking a location you want to edit. Don't just edit a random place. Pick a location that you know is going to benefit what you want to do, in the way of, say, if you're drag racing, pick it somewhere close to a drag strip, or in an area that is kind of realistic to where, say, a race shop may be set up. Things like that. What assets you want to use, like for instance, you've just seen me go from OGC map to West Coast. Now we're going back to OGC because OGC has the assets that I want as far as shipping containers and things like that. So really take the time to look through what map you're editing and what assets are on the map and things like that, and then sit there and plan out how you want to build whatever you're building. And yeah, so we'll head back over here. So I've come to the decision this is where I want to edit, but I do not want these tents in there, so I'm going to have to work around the tents, which isn't really going to be too much of an issue. I'm just going to fence those tents off. So let's turn my camera speed up, and we shall fly over here because there will be a specific fencing that I can use to block off those tents. Like, okay, it's still not going to let me use those. Helps if I open the map editor. I'm getting ahead of myself. So can I use these? Yes. But it's going to be section by section. I don't want to spend the time going section by section. So maybe we can find something else that is going to allow me to fence off that area a little quicker. Okay, it's not going to let me use those fences. That fencing I could use, but it is very see-through. Alright. I could just use shipping containers, but they are very thick, so I still want to use like that access road that you see over there. So what have we got going on here? These could work. So prefab clone, then we'll fly back over here. And then it's just a matter of placing them and getting them somewhat situated where you would like them to be. So because like I said, I want to use this access road still. I want to be able to get semi trucks and other things down there. So we'll move selected to camera, go rotate tool, and we'll get that rotated. And lower that right down to ground level. And a little tip, you don't have to always use these arrows. If you put your mouse here, you will see this whole square light up yellow. Click on it and then you can move the whole thing. So that's going to probably work the way I want it to. It's just tall enough that it you only just see the tip of the tents. So we'll get that like that, go back to this, move that back out like that. Now the next question is it long enough? Not really, but that's okay because we can clone this again. So we'll go here, go prefab, clone. And then we've got another set. So then we'll get that straightened up. Moved back over here and put somewhat into place. So now you can see that it is slightly too long. I'm clicking on all the wrong things. So when we straighten it up, and we'll get it into place with these other containers, you can see it's just slightly too long. I'm not going to be able to get a semi truck in and out of here very well. So I want to get rid of these two on the end. So while that's selected, delete it. So now we can go into the search bar, go containers 40 foot, and you can see all the different styles, BeamNG logo, white, all the different types of containers we can use. So we'll go clone. Just the reason why I'm cloning the assets is so I'm not taking assets from other parts of the map. So essentially we're just adding assets instead of taking away. So we can go move selected to camera, put this all the way down to the ground. Then we can go rotate. Go back to this. And then line that up like so. So then you can see that there is more than enough room for me to get a semi truck in and out of there. So then what we're going to do now is, so we're not using the same colored containers all the time, let's go clone this one, brown, move selection at camera, bring it down, move it over here, and bring it down. Okay, it's already touching the top of that other container, so we can rotate it. Make sure it's somewhat straight. It doesn't have to be perfect unless you're a perfectionist, which I am not. I really don't care if it's properly straight or not. And there we have our first wall. Now, I'm going to click on this prefab and go clone. Now we've got another one. So I can do this, drag it over. And we want to make sure that it properly lines up with this other set of containers. And I want it to be just on the edge of the concrete so you don't see that seam there. Perfect. That can probably come back this way just a little bit. And that should be more or less lined up. Yep, that looks perfect to me. So now I can click on this container again. So this container, I don't know why it did it over there. We can move this back so they line up. Doesn't really matter if they're kind of clipping here and there. For things like this, no one's going to really notice. So now we can go brown container, clone it, drag this across to here, put it down to ground level, go the white one, clone, bring it up, and then move it across. Now you can see that's not exactly straight. So we'll go to the rotate tool again and slightly rotate it. And then put it there. So yeah, this is going to be my main entrance and exit, because the rest of it is going to be more or less closed off. So for example, we'll just go back to prefab, go clone again. Then we will drag this over here, rotate it, try and make sure that it's somewhat straight. and then move it over here like so. So we get a perfect corner there. Perfect. And then we're going to close off this gap here as well. So we're going to clone this prefab again. We're probably going to end up cloning this prefab a fair few times just because it's going to make the process quicker than doing individual containers. And we can spin that like so. Now I know that that is not perfect, so we're going to have to rotate it like so. Because it is clipping with these tents somewhat. Now what's going on here? Do your thing, thank you. So now as you can see, I've messed up. This set of containers is not straight, which is why that set is clipping down the end. So what we want to do is do this. Then we can go to this set of containers, make it straight. And move it back out, and it is no longer clipping with the tents, which wouldn't really matter because you wouldn't really see it, but I'd still know. So now we can go over here. I'm making this area way too big for what I need, but you get the idea of what I'm trying to achieve here. So go here, go clone again. Rotate. So this here is definitely going to be a little too big, but that's okay. It doesn't necessarily matter. It just looks like it's been sitting there for a long time and it's kind of sunk into the ground. But you're not going to see that because when we go clone this one, bring it over here, rotate it, and put it like so. So as you can see, it needs to be rotated just a little bit more for that edge there to line up. So rotate it slightly and move it up a little more, and presto. So you get the idea of what I am wanting to achieve here is more or less a massive area that's just for me to be able to have a workshop and things like that. So now that I'm looking at this, I'm definitely going to change the size of the area. I don't necessarily need it that big. So we'll go ahead and move these like so. Like that. So then get another prefab which will go to this edge and we'll run it down and across because we don't need this little access road here that goes onto the track. So now I can go prefab again, clone it again, move that to there. Do 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 do. And put that like that. Right, so now we're getting somewhere in the way of it looking like a compound of sorts. Now what I want to do is I'll grab one of these single containers down here and go clone, and we are going to, come on, light up the circle, there we go, bring this down here, rotate it, put that like so, so it's kind of even in between those two containers. Bring it up. Now I'm going to come down to make sure that it is going to be level. Bring it back down. And then I can move it over like so. Okay. Now who's messaging me and why? People asking me where I get this, where you get this mod, where you get that mod. Like, BeamNG community is not like what it used to be, where people used to actually go and look for things themselves. But anyway, I'll help that guy out a little later because I am in the middle of something. So we'll spin this around. This is a little more of an undertaking than I thought it was going to be. Like, I've been recording for 37 minutes now. We'll move that like so. And I want these touching so there's minimal gap. Right. So now we'll clone this again. A lot of cloning, as I said earlier. A lot of cloning, moving, rotating to get things the way you want them to look. See, like that's perfect. Now I can get this prefab, clone it, and move it into place. Rotate it. And put it into place. Now I've got a bit of a gap here, which I'm not 100% sure what I could put there. This is not straight. So rotate it a little, and then move it over. So yeah, this is going to be more than enough space for me to put my shop, a couple of car canopies or something like that, and yeah. So I don't know exactly what I'm going to put in that gap there. I could, can I steal this? Of course not, it's part of the terrain, because why wouldn't it be? There's another one over here, which is more than, yep, alright, well, that's not going to work in my favor whatsoever. Let's have a look around and see what we could possibly put in that area. That's my D series just chilling down here. I'm really wishing it would let me take one of these, but it's not going to let me. Let's just have a bit of a quick fly around and see what other assets we could use to fill that gap. I'm sure we shall find something. Like, as you can see, there are containers absolutely everywhere on this map, which is why I thought there may have been a few on the normal west coast, but that was not the case. So I'm thinking I can maybe use a silo of some sort, like I used at the other place as a corner filler. Like, we'll just fly over here and I'll show you, like, for example, I used these two here as a corner filler. So I might be able to do that again, unless I find something I can use. Can I steal any of these big rocks? Nope. So that's probably what I'm going to have to end up doing, is using another silo as a corner filler. Unless I can find a skinny enough building or something to put in there. We shall see what we can find. Excuse me, I've got the hiccups. Like, this random prefab thing could actually work. Hold on, clone that. You're probably thinking, how is that going to work, Thunder? Well, I shall show you how that is going to work. Got my camera fly speed at 100. Oh, it was not at 100. Like, why is it so slow for being 100? So come over here, go move selected at camera. That's why I had slowed down the camera speed, because it was just flying around everywhere. So grab this, rotate it. Now you're probably seeing how it's going to work. And we can slide that up like so. So that is in the corner. And I know it's just a random building and looks completely out of place, but it should work. So now we can go see, career garage, clone, move selected at camera, move that over here, put it down at ground level. And now, where is the main entrance? There. So now we can move this up against this wall. Oh, well, that's not going to work because it's interfering with my entrance. So we may have to put it up against the other wall over here. Oh, come on, I'm clicking on it. Do your thing. There we go. Over here. And we're going to have it like this because of this second exit. And I want to just make sure that it is lined up properly. And go ahead and put it slightly in the ground so we don't have that sidewalk all the way around it. And we can move this right up into this corner. Okay, so it's not exactly square. Hold on a second. So I'm finding this isn't exactly a square building, or the containers aren't completely square, which is more than likely the case. But as long as I can drive in here and there are no containers clipping through the walls, which there is not. There is a door here, but that's not really necessary. So yeah, perfect. So now we've got all this other space around the shop for some other asset fillers. So what I'm going to do, not exactly 100% sure what that those white things are called. I don't particularly want to fly back over there. Okay, that's the airport stuff, don't care. Island, don't care. Road mesh, don't care. Buildings. Um, I'm gonna have to fly back over there to see. Actually, no, I'm not, because there's one right here. Ah, it's called a shelter industrial. Didn't think that's what it was called. It's called shelter industrial. Okay, so we can clone one of those. Move. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I'm clicking on all the wrong things. Move selected. Put it like so. Oh, come on. Do as you're told. Thank you. Move it over there. Drop it down to ground level. Still not over as far as I thought it was. So yeah, we can put a few of these down. Not 100% sure what I will actually do with these, but it'll probably store like trucks or something like that. Put it right up against the containers like so. I'm assuming that's pretty much level. No, it's not. There. So yeah, that's pretty much everything that goes into editing maps, like I've been explaining and showing you. Now I've made my own little compound area. I will spend however long perfecting it and just making it look right. Like just a lot of little finicky things just so it looks a little less, janky. But go ahead and clone another one of these and move it down here. That's not straight. It's like I haven't got the rotate snap tool on just so I can get things exactly the way I want them to fit and whatnot. So now we should be able to get a semi truck down in and around there with no issues whatsoever. I may have to actually make these entrances a tad taller because the Too Fast Racing trailer is indeed a very tall beast and it might not fit underneath the way I want them to, well, want it to. So we'll lift that up. Now we'll clone that one. Bring it down here. Try and get it lined up as perfectly as possible. So a lot of it comes down to how you want something to look and how willing you are to sit here playing around and just getting everything looking somewhat nice. Like as you're seeing here, it has taken me just on 50 minutes to achieve this small area here. which really isn't that long when you put it into perspective. I'll clone this container again. And obviously this process will get a lot easier if you learn the hotkeys and everything like that, which I have not, so that's why it's taking so long. I'm sure there's certain hotkeys for everything and whatnot that will just make it a bit easier. But yeah, this is my little workshop area. Just something quick and simple. Like I said, I'll add all the finer details that I want to add later on, so in the next video you see this will be all complete. So yeah, if you liked this video, this slightly longer video, I understand it may be boring to some people, but to some people it may not be so boring. It might give you ideas on editing your own maps and creating things like that. So one last thing, when you've got your area created and the way you like it, you will come up over here and you will click Save Level. It will come up level saved. So then we can exit the map editor, and just for example we will go back to free roam, go OGC map, then we will go West Coast USA racetrack and let it spawn up. And just give that a second. Big map. I've only got 16 gigabytes of RAM, so, and it crashed again. Lovely. Status heap corruption, whatever that means. I have no idea what that means. There's a whole page on the BeamNG website for certain errors, and I haven't gone through them all yet. But it doesn't seem very happy with changing maps. And pay no attention to the errors. Apparently I've got a bunch of duplicated mods that I can't seem to find. To remove said duplicated mods, you'd think the game would have that ability to come up with what mods have been duplicated so you can remove them, but it's just a whole tedious process of removing duplicated and broken mods, which is now a little easier. Now they've got the option to show what mods are possibly broken, but it'd be nice if they had a section for duplicated mods and things like that. Like when you click on mod name in the mod manager, yeah, it sorts it into alphabetical order, but I can sit there for hours scrolling through them and not see a single duplicated mod. So how am I supposed to delete the duplicated mod? That's something I have to sit and go through the actual game files to figure out what's been duplicated. So now once this loads up, what you have just built or edited should very well be saved. Because in a few of my last videos you would have seen I did an edit on River Highway with the blue house area and things like that, and the one I just showed you at the beginning of this video over in the industrial area. Come on, game. Not very happy with me because I've got a lot of different mods that it's trying to load in. And now this being the second edit that I have done on this map, it's probably not happy with me whatsoever. There we go. So now you've loaded back in, and we shall fly to the drag strip over here. And you can see the edited area has indeed been saved. So yeah, like I said, I'll add some extra bits and pieces here and there for what I want it to look like and things like that, and I may add some signage like I did on the other place. But yeah, if you liked this video, please leave your comments on what you think, on if you have any suggestions on what you think I should edit next, or what sort of area I should edit, considering there isn't many options. There probably is, I just don't have the imagination for it at 2 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, if you liked this video, please leave your constructive criticism in the comments below, hit that thumbs up button, and if you have not already, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the little notification bell so you know when I upload. So until next time, ThunderDiesel out.